At this point, you should have just bought Nicholas Jackson, man. Because Nick Woltemade was not on the radar for any Premier League team. Out of nowhere, straight out of left field, Nick Woltemade is now worth 80 million. That's absolutely crazy. I was, thinking that Chelsea was crazy for asking for around 80 million for Nicholas Jackson when Newcastle and United were possibly interested. But now here, Mr. Nick Woltemade coming out of Germany is worth 80 millions. Not only 80 millions, 80 millions with add-ons, it'll be 85 million. So the whole Isak saga seems to be, reignited because now Newcastle have their striker for 85 million. And to be fair, these stats right here don't give me 85 million, man. You're making Sesko look like an absolute bargain who just got outplayed by a League 2 defenders, for 90 minutes. So, 28 games, 12 goals, 2 assists in the Bundesliga, 5 goals in the Cup, 2 assists. He's 22, 23 years of age. But 80 million, man, this is the cause of inflation right here because this man is not worth more than 40 million. I'm sorry to tell you this. Nicholas Jackson has better stats in the Premier League than this lad right here. So at this point, that's when I start to look at Newcastle and I'm like, maybe you should have let go of Isak because now you've lost on all these opportunities and you end up with Nick Woltemade. Yeah. That's not to me because when he looked at Isak's stats and he went for a similar fee from Sociedad to Newcastle, it looked a lot better than this. In a more respectable league, La Liga has more quality than the Bundesliga top to bottom. I hate to say it. And at least Isak was on the radar of Arsenal and all these other teams were all had him in the radar. I have not seen a single club linked to this lad prior to this shocking, here we go, Nick Woltemade to Newcastle, so to me this is actually a desperation move because Nicholas Jackson already got his move, Sesko already got his move, Gyökeres got his move, all these strikers have gotten their moves and you're losing Isak. So to me, Newcastle at this point, a desperation move. They feel like they see some sort of potential like they did with Isak. No competition because every time they've competed for a striker they've lost. They lost to Man United who just lost the League 2 team. Yikes. So that kind of shows, and I don't understand, striker's perspective because Sesko, you are now the laughing stock of all of England. All of England. Meanwhile, you could have been at Newcastle ready to go play Champions League football this season. But no, you don't even have Carabao Cup football, man. This is where I go. I think the biggest loser here is going to be Sesko, to be honest. But this is a great opportunity for this guy. 80 million is a bit excessive because now you're looking at Eze. He's twice the player of this guy. I'm thinking Eze is a bargain. Gyökeres too. So 4 years of age doesn't really make that much of a difference if you've got a guy in Gyökeres having more than 40 goals and assists, and this guy can't even get over 20. Kind of crazy, but now it's ignited again. Isak has got the green light to make the deal happen. Obviously, Liverpool are going to make a profit. It's going to be over 110 million guaranteed. I feel like we're going to be seeing 120, 130 million. Maybe that's why Newcastle felt like they had the freedom to overpay in this aspect because they know they're going to get Liverpool paying 140, 150 million with all added add-ons included. Isak gets his wish. I don't think this is exactly what Liverpool need. Defensively, they've looked very vulnerable. You have Konate. His head is already in Madrid. Virgil van Dijk is about to hit 40 very soon. Frimpong's injured. Kirkes hasn't adapted yet. There's not too much defensive depth. I understand you bought the 18-year-old from Italy, but you're conceding at least 2 goals every game. You've scored an absurd amount of goals. So maybe striker wasn't your problem. It's like Arsenal. They would have gone out and bought Huijsen instead of Gyökeres. It would have been like, why? You definitely had a need there, but that's what Liverpool in a sense have done here. And nobody's going to win in this situation. Isak, obviously, I will say was the best striker on the market, but Liverpool did a great job getting Ekitike. They might have got the first and best striker on the market that got signed to a big team in the Premier League with Isak and Ekitike. There's a big chance because Ekitike at the end of the day has scored in every goal, every game he's played. And Isak obviously finished top 3 in the Golden Boot the past 2 seasons. So to me, it's excessive, and I'm curious on what Arne Slot's gonna be able to do with these two strikers, because you can't really bench both of them if one's performing and the other one's gonna be a English transfer record fee. So it's a hard place to be. It's a headache. I will say that. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this for Newcastle? Who is the winner here, Newcastle or Liverpool? Personally, I think depending on the fee, if the fee's over 120, then you could say Newcastle is the winner here, because they do have their striker and they're gonna make 30-40 million. And then Alexander Isak obviously is gonna be the ultimate winner here because he gets the transfer he wanted. But Liverpool, they need to go in for a center back. If they need Mark Guehi, you get Mark Guehi. That's the fine point right here. Because if they go like this for the rest of the season, they will struggle to get Champions League football.